What's good, boxing fans? Deadly start here with another boxing video. All right, this video is gonna be a little different. I won't be talking about so much of the news and what's going on in the sport, but I'm gonna go back on an older topic. Now, this fight in particular has been known to be called the punch heard around the world, and you should already know what I'm referring to when I'm saying the punch. The one big punch, the punch that put Pacquiao out, the one that put him to sleep, face down on a canvas, that punch. Now I'm going to get into everything. I'm going to even get up to the buildup of the fight, what people are actually saying. I'm going to break it down, topic by topic. First of all, let's get into the premise of the fight. Let's get into what was actually being said in the fight prior to this happening. Everyone saw the third Marquez Pacquiao fight, and I guess you can say that the views on the fight were split. You can say it was 50-50, 60-40 on both ends, whether you believe Pacquiao or Marquez won. I mean, despite what CompuBox has said, because there have been plenty of fights that CompuBox has said that, he threw more punches or he landed more shots, but just by looking in the ring and the crowd reaction, you would have swore that the other guy won the fight. I think a Sugar Ray Leonard fight was a victim of CompuBox or something like that. I'll get back to that. But anyway, the conversation went on and on. It even went into the next HBO telecast where a lot of people actually thought that Marquez had either won the fight or it was a draw. This again, despite what CompuBox had put up, even though many people thought that the CompuBox detabulation of punches between jabs and power shots was in favor of Pacquiao, because there's a lot of shots that Pacquiao threw that were either glancing blows or didn't land at all, or came close to landing but did no type of damage, or the punches that just didn't land at all. And they might have figured that those who were actually handling CompuBox were actually pushing those buttons for in favor of Pacquiao. Okay, but it's a conspiracy theory or whatever type of theory you want to categorize it as, but that's basically the gist of it. So what happened? They made another fight. Here we go. Marquez Pacquiao 4. We go into the fight. Pacquiao gets dropped. Then basically everything before the fight was that, this is going to be a new Pacquiao. This Pacquiao he's at the right weight. He's strong. Then you have Marquez, who I believe came in a little light, but he was just looking hulked out. Like Super Cena type hulking out. A lot of people were talking about, he might have been on steroids. He could be taking this because of that guy. I think his name was like Angel Contreras or something like that. One of you guys can help me on that or correct me on that. But because of the whole steroid allegation that Pacquiao was going down, so somehow Marquez fell under that same umbrella. Having said that, the buildup of the fight was kind of lackluster. A lot of people thought that Pacquiao was just going to go in here and just decimate him after having fought him 3 times. He should already know how Marquez fights. He should already know his tricks, how he moves, how his counter punches, when he's going to throw a punch, throw a left hook, so on and so forth. About all the hogwash, all the statistics and analysis a lot of people were coming out with prior to the fight, who didn't know what would have happened. I don't even think anyone even had Marquez winning, by a knockout. I think it was more so, in Pacquiao's court. So we get to the fight. The fight goes on as like the as the Marquez Pacquiao 3 fight went on. A lot of back and forth. The ring generalship was in Pacquiao's favor. He was the one making the fight. He was the aggressor. He was throwing his myriad of awkward and off-balance shots. He looked like a drunken master throwing crazy combinations in there, repetitious combinations that Freddie Roach is known for. So Marquez ends up knocking him down. The commentators are kind of thinking like, it's a flash knockdown. Could this be the end of Pacquiao? That type of nonsense, But they were still kind of giving Pacquiao the benefit of the doubt, because there was no way Marquez was supposed to knock Pacquiao down, despite him doing it before. So it didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean nothing. It was nothing. Pacquiao was still in the fight. So what do we have here going into blue? I think I can't remember what round it was. I think it was a 6th round, if I'm not mistaken. Going into that round, at this point, it might have, a lot of people might have thought that maybe Marquez has it in the bag, or maybe Marquez isn't doing as much after the knockdown, and Pacquiao's gaining points, he's gaining momentum, he's gaining more leverage on Marquez, and boom, right to the grill, knocked him out clean. Let's analyze this punch a little bit. Many people were coming out saying maybe like Skip Bayless, but we take everything Skip Bayless says with a grain of salt, that it was a lucky shot. I honestly believe that this punch was so far from the realm of lucky, it's stupid. Anyone who knows a fraction of the sport of boxing when it comes to or hung around with boxers know the type of shot Marquez threw could not be lucky. Marquez could throw that shot 1,000 times and land it each time. The type of punch that was completely complements Marquez's style of fighting, or I should say boxing. This what I'm about to say has been said about Pacquiao if he had fought Mayweather. That if Pacquiao runs in, throwing unnecessary shit, moving unnecessarily into Marquez, knowing he's a counterpuncher, something's gonna land. But they didn't exactly know the level of ferocity of behind the shot. So let's say if Pacquiao did come to Mayweather, we know Mayweather is a defensive counterpuncher. He has offense, but his offense mainly is birthed from his defense. So, for example, let's say check hook, Ricky Hatton, knockdown. You know what I'm saying? Hatton came forward. Mayweather saw the opening. He moved to his left, came the left hook in unison with the movement, coupled with the momentum. Boom, check hook. The end result was a knockdown. Now, in Pacquiao's case, though, he was moving with forward momentum. He was, I wouldn't necessarily say he was off balance, but he was in the position to where if he caught one, he was going down. And in this case, he went down face first. Marquez saw Pacquiao's movement. Marquez slid to the left. Now, notice there was no feet movement in this lean. He just leaned to the side. All it was is the upper body. The torso was the only thing that moved. His head dropped underneath the glove, where Marquez's head was safe enough to not catch anything. Even if he did catch a glove, there wouldn't be no momentum or no strength for him behind it for him to take any type of significant damage. Like I said, dropped his head low underneath the right. Pacquiao was coming in. He met the shot head on, coupled with Marquez's already established throwing power. Now, the end result was obviously Pacquiao got shook. He was shook when he took it. His body kind of like quivered a little bit. Then all of a sudden he just boom, right down on his face. I don't understand how anyone can call this a lucky punch, because it was not lucky at all. As I said, Marquez could have thrown that shot 1,000 times and landed each time. The punch was just it was like a choreographed shot. Like Marquez knew he was going to throw it before the punch even registered. This is a clear-cut point, or this is clear-cut evidence that Pacquiao has no established defense to deal with counterpunchers. If it was Mayweather he was in the ring with, this fight probably might have went on longer, and it might not have ended up with a knockout, but Mayweather would have proved that Pacquiao cannot fight the caliber of fighter that Floyd is known to be. We all know the type of fighter Marquez is when he fought Mayweather. In a way he's like an older, less elusive version of Mayweather who takes more punishment, even though he does have I'm not comparing their counter-punching abilities because there's no comparison there, but if you were to break it down and using Pacquiao's and using similar opponents, Marquez couldn't do anything to Mayweather. Mayweather just took him out in 12 rounds, and they gave Marquez the 12th round pity. It was like they took pity on him and said, okay, fine, we'll give you the 12th round. Otherwise, Mayweather won the fight 120-109 cleanly. Like, there was nothing there. and Mayweather neutralized everything Marquez threw. There was even a point where Mayweather decided to just go freestyle and just say, you know what, I'm not even going to Philly shell your shots. I'm going to sit there and take them on the forearms, and I'm just going to, deal what I can until the time goes out. I mean, he knocked Marquez down once, and that's all you really needed to know. That Mayweather coming back from an 18-month layoff can do this to the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Who called him out? So we fast forward to Marquez. Oh, Marquez doesn't belong at welterweight. Oh, Marquez is too big. Oh, Marquez looks too muscular. He's too slow. Pacquiao is going to eat him up. That's the end result. A mistake that Freddie Roach has yet to capitalize on and help Pacquiao out with. Freddie Roach does not know how to deal with fighters like Marquez and Mayweather. You would have thought as many times Freddie Roach has trained Pacquiao for Marquez that this would have been easy work. This just makes Freddie Roach look bad. Either that or his training regimen for Pacquiao is so much that it's like, oh, well, I don't need to train you anymore. I don't got to train you all that much. I mean, I know you're strong. I know you're fast. We'll just do light training until the fight. You can go in there against Marquez and you can beat him like you have in the past past 3 fights. But not this time. Marquez landed a great shot. It wasn't telegraphed. It was just at the right moment at the right time, and he knew how to throw it, and it wasn't lucky. Now, the real question is can Marquez do it again? I said already, if Marquez threw that shot 1,000 times on Pacquiao, he would land 1,000 times. A+, 100%. Can he do it again? Yes. Marquez definitely can knock Pacquiao out again because the proof is in the pudding. It's right there in the last fight. Pacquiao would go into this fight with a new game plan. I guarantee you Freddie Roach would look at the tape, analyze it, and make Pacquiao fight a completely different fight. Make him fight a boxer's fight. Not going there willy-nilly, throwing caution to the wind, not giving 2 shits of what's going on, and just think, oh, my superior offense and speed will offset anything you throw at me, and I can just beat you that way. Shit like that ain't gonna work. Not if there's a 5th fight. It's just not gonna happen. Marquez is reinvigorated. Marquez, he knows in his heart that I am better than Pacquiao now. So if they do have a next fight, there's gonna be no worry for Marquez, because in my book, Marquez fought Pacquiao way better than any opponent Pacquiao has ever been in there with. Because not only does Marquez know him, Marquez isn't afraid of Pacquiao. He's not afraid of his punches. He's not afraid of his strength. Not afraid of this imaginary speed that Pacquiao supposedly has. I guess he's superhuman in the eyes of some people, but Marquez would feel almost heroic. He would feel courageous. He wouldn't be afraid of Pacquiao, but Pacquiao would be afraid of Marquez, and he'd be afraid of that right. He would be deathly afraid of counterpunchers, because Pacquiao would not go in against Marquez with the same idea that they had in the 4th fight, which I don't know if it would be good or bad for Pacquiao, because I don't know if changing his game plan at this point in time would prove useful. I mean, it may prove useful against Marquez, but if he does it against another opponent, say a younger, faster opponent, say Broner or like a Gamboa, like, would that work? Because it's just like when Billy Graham was training Ricky Hatton to fight a certain way, and Ricky Hatton fought guys like Costa Tszyu, Carlos Mauza, I think Vivian Harris, fought similar opponents like that. Obviously, they're not Mayweather or Marquez type opponents, but even still, like my point is, Billy Graham trained Hatton to fight a certain way. He trained him to be a buzzsaw. But then, he fought Mayweather. That went down the tubes. He got knocked out. So I guess Hatton figured that, Billy Graham can only take me so far, so let me train with Mayweather Sr. He trained Mayweather Sr., only trained him for like 6 months, and then you can't really, you can dip your pen in ink, and write a sentence, but don't think you're going to write a novel. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. He just dabbled in what Mayweather Sr. could teach him, but he wasn't fully capable of understanding or had the actual athletic ability to actually utilize what Mayweather Sr. taught him, which the end result was him getting knocked out. Plus, I think a lot of that had to do with the loss to Mayweather and any other psychological mishaps he might have had. But even Hatton himself he just wasn't right. It just didn't look right. He tried to box. Hatton has small arms. There's no way a guy with arms that small should be boxing. He should have just kept Billy Graham and kept to the buzzsaw method, as I like to call it, and just went from there. Training a guy who's already been trained in one style of boxing, trying to teach him another is just, if he's not capable of doing it, you just don't do it. Same thing with Pacquiao. If he's not capable of being a boxer, you don't train him to fight like one. Just keep him on the same path you're going, but just teach him just kind of just tweak it a tiny bit. Make him more not so much exposed to counter rights or counter lefts. Make him realize that, okay, you have a lot of options here. Don't go in face first and think you're going to block a punch with your face. Stuff like that. That's what Roach nearly needs to instill in Pacquiao's mind. But as far as Marquez and I think Nacho Bear, I don't know if Nacho Beristain is still training him. I think he is, but Marquez already has the antidote to Pacquiao, and like I said, he can utilize all of his talents against Pacquiao without feeling like, oh, I'm going to get beat by the judges. He can go in there and just take him out now, maybe even in the earlier rounds or later rounds. Either way, I think it's a Marquez win any way you look at it. But I'm going to hold it here. I'm getting kind of long here, going up to almost 17 minutes. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe to my videos, please. It helps me a lot. I thank all my subscribers. I have 260 subscribers right now. I'll do when I get around 300, I'll do a thank you video. I really appreciate everything you guys have been doing. Thank you a bunch. I appreciate it. But until then, I am out of here. Hope you liked the video. I can't wait to hear some of you guys' comments. Take it easy.